Motivate Monday. This is your daily motivational morning message. And motivation is a lot like taking a bath, brushing your teeth, your personal hygiene. You got to do it every day in order to maintain a clear, clean, energetic, uplifting, positive vibration. You ever notice that if you haven't washed in a couple of days, like not only do you start to hum a little bit, and then you start to reek, and then it starts to get a little bit of heaviness on you. And then, for whatever reason, it could be you're out camping, it could be you're working double shifts, it could be for whatever reason. And then you get clean and you feel brand new. You feel a little bit lighter, you feel energized, you feel refreshed. It's the same dynamic with your mind and your thoughts and your language. Words are what create sentences. Sentences lead to imagery. Imagery leads to creativity, which leads to imagination being stimulated, which leads to greater life and greater life experiences. And it all starts right here. Mindset is everything. I want to talk to you this morning about three very specific ingredients to extreme growth, extreme progress, extreme transformation. Maybe there's something in your life that you haven't gotten yet, and it's very important, but you haven't wrapped your mind around getting it or how to get it. And maybe the size of what you want, the goal that you have is so big that it's scary. It's creating some anxiety, some uncertainty. You just don't know how. And a lot of times, if you have something that you really want to achieve and it's big, you will talk yourself out of getting started. You will spend so much time getting ready to get ready because there is a mental hurdle that is before you and you haven't gotten over that hurdle yet. Or even worse, you've fallen into the comfort zone. Your comfort zone is your broke zone. Your comfort zone is where people and dreams and ideas and ambitions and greater aspirations, they all go to die in the comfort zone. Comfort is like carbon monoxide. It is a silent, slow killer. It slowly chokes the life out of your dreams and hopes and ambitions, and it will wreak havoc in your life. You become accustomed to certain things, a certain level of normalcy where you've accepted mediocrity in areas of your life and you have normalized that. That is comfort. It will kill you. You have gotten comfortable and accustomed to making excuses and to avoiding things that are difficult and to moving away from those things that are challenging because you have created a narrative, a story that will justify your being stuck and standing still and not having progress and making moves. So these three words are the keys to unlocking your freedom. These three words will get you over the mountain, not only to the top, but it will prepare you for the next level of climb that you'll have. Because when you get to the top of the mountain, you're going to peak. You're going to be able to see something greater, and then you can begin to ascend even further because you didn't know that there were levels to this because you never got to the top of that initial mountain. We're talking about getting to the top of the initial mountain so you can climb another one. You see, ladies and gentlemen, goals and success are moving targets. There's no point in this journey called life where you arrive. There's no point where you could say, I've done it all. No, there's always something more to grow into, to learn into, to give into, to serve into, to pay your way into. And so these three words are going to be very instrumental to your liberation. The first word is solitude. Solitude. You have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, which is being alone. There are some things that you have to do alone. There are some things that you cannot discover unless you are alone. Some of the greatest growth I've experienced in my journey has taken place in those quiet, private moments alone. In those moments when I am trudging up the hills of life and I'm working to overcome the obstacles, whether they're exterior or self-imposed, when I'm doing the self-diagnosis, I have to continue to do the work on myself alone. Solitude. You have to be okay with the quiet. You have to be okay with the silence. It's uncomfortable. You want distractions. I need my phone. I need to scroll. I need a video. I need some noise. Can you work through that discomfort so that you do have silence and you embrace it? Don't seek relief from solitude. Embrace it. Dig deep within the self to discover those things about yourself that will enable you to get to a greater version of you, a deeper level of your own personal truth. So many times we use the exterior to distract from the interior work that we have not done. We need something or someone to cover up our insecurities and our agitation at the idea of being alone. There are people who hop from one relationship to another, to another, to another, because they cannot stand the idea of being with and by themselves. There are people that hop and move around and they go to happy hour and they go to this function and that function, and they have to always have something going on that creates noise so that it prevents them from doing the work of solitude. One of the most difficult things for anyone to do is to sit with themselves in quiet for any period of time. You ever tried meditating and you're sitting there and you're meditating and it feels like you've been sitting in silence for 3 minutes and you look up and it's been 30 seconds because your mind is racing because you've been so inundated with noise and distractions and images and all of these things that are coming at you 24/7, and you don't realize how much you've been peppered with so many different things until you become still. For it is in still waters, ladies and gentlemen, that you can see your reflection. You cannot see your reflection unless the waters are still. Solitude, that is the number one thing you're going to want to have to embrace. That's the first one. The second one is there will be suffering. There will be suffering. You're going to have to suffer in order to grow. I'm sorry. There's no nice way to say it. It's going to be painful. There will be growing pains. If you're not currently experiencing any growing pains, then you are probably not growing. And so you have to understand that the growth process requires that you embrace suffering. And there's no greater or simpler analogy than what you've experienced in any journey where you've been working out or exercising, and maybe you've never done it before and you went for a workout the first time. Maybe you took a new class, maybe you're trying something new. And you all understand this. When the body goes through that initial transformation, when you're moving your body in ways that you never have, you're exerting things onto your body that you never have, your lungs start to burn. That's not fun. It's not comfortable. Your breath, you're just gasping. It's not fun. It's not comfortable. This is a part of the suffering. When you're working out with weights, your muscles are sore and your arms are shaking and quivering and your legs and your that's not comfortable, but it's suffering. But on the other side of that, what happens? The muscle breaks down and then it comes back together again. It's stronger. The lungs burn and burn and burn, but then you create greater lung capacity. You start to have more breath in the midst of exertion. You start to get in shape, as it were. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, suffering is a part of it. Being by yourself in solitude is a form of suffering because you can't have any escape. Being alone is a part of suffering because there's no one that you can seek for comfort. There's no one that's going to put their arms around you and tell you it's going to be okay. There's no one that's going to rescue you. You have to rescue yourself. There is suffering that predates the opportunity for transformation. Going without, that's suffering. Solitude, suffering, and then sacrifice. What are you willing to give up in order to go up? What are you willing to give up in order to go up? Can you give up alcohol? Can you give up fast food? Can you give up emotional eating? Can you give up sex if that is a seek a place of comfort, if you just seek companionship for physical intimacy because it makes you feel good, but it's a band-aid on a bigger problem, can you give it up in order to go up? Can you discipline yourself in a spirit of sacrifice to get up earlier in the morning to work on oneself, working out, reading, exercising, meditating, experiencing solitude, experiencing suffering, experiencing those things in order so you're sacrificing for something greater? Can you give up scrolling? Can you give up the electronic income reducer? Can you give up giving your attention to ridiculous memes all the time and getting lost in the social media vortex? Can you give up all of these other things that take you off your game, that don't get you closer to your outcomes and your goals? These three components: solitude, suffering, sacrifice. You're going to experience some things that are beyond your control. And those are elements that are going to come into play. A friend of ours recently, in the last couple of months, lost her husband. They have 3 children. She's got to experience solitude. Her husband is gone. She has to experience suffering, dealing with the loss of someone that's your mate, your life partner that was by your side for years and years and years, and then gone. And then sacrifice. She has to give up even more so she can show up for the void that her husband has left as a mother and now temporary father for however how long that is. But there will be tremendous growth and transformation on the other side of that. It's not ideal. No one would want that. No one wishes for that. But that will be the byproduct of what our friend has to experience. And when you incorporate these 3 elements into how you're moving throughout your day, and this is self-imposed, you're putting demands on yourself because you aspire to something more, something greater. That is when you have the most growth because you're willing to go through the fiery furnace by choice. You're not waiting for life to happen to you, you're happening to it. And now you're playing at a different level. Instead of being in reactive mode, you're taking responsibility for creating your life. Those individuals who get up with the discipline and they work out every day, they're creating a circumstance of preventative care that allows them for greater longevity so that when the storms do come, they're already prepared. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So let those 3 words sit with you. Meditate on them, experience them, watch what happens. Watch what happens. Incorporate that into your growth journey. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Motivate Monday. Let's keep making it do what it do. If you got some value out of this, please like and subscribe and share this video. Pass it on to somebody else who could benefit. Remember the 3 words. What? Solitude. Spend some time with yourself. Take yourself out to lunch. Go to a movie by yourself. Suffering. Put yourself through some difficult trial and tribulation. Work out harder. Read more. Write more. Be still. And then sacrifice. What are you willing to give up to go up?